This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo Mutagen Ooze figure from Super 7. We have the standard overpack box, and we have the rather cost inefficient packaging that they usually use for their Ultimates lines, where they have the big sliding thing over the other thing. I know, that's terrible. Anyway, on the back of this, we just have the Turtles logo with the ooze coming out of it. Pretty much the same thing that they did for all the other Turtles in this line. So, like, there's no specific marking for the figure on it. We raise it up and we are treated with a Michelangelo in the glow-in-the-dark plastics that I love so much. Although he's got jaundiced eyes. I can't remember if Raphael's eyes were yellow too or if they had been white. Nothing particularly on the side other than open spot and, of course, damage. On the back, we get a little informational blurb. Michelangelo, the wild and crazy turtle. Michelangelo is a party reptile. Even though his sinister shredder may be slicing his way through the manhole cover, Mikey stays cool in the midst of the most perilous battles. Mikey can be seen swinging his deadly nunchakus in one hand while dangling a wedge of pizza in the other. I can't tell if I'm doing a surfer or a southern accent when I do that. Kind of one of the most boring backgrounds they've got. The thing with the glow-in-the-dark figures is they don't come with all the accessories that the regular standard ones do, which is kind of a shame, really. Of course, I haven't actually opened up a standard one yet. Can I just say right now, I absolutely hate this. I kind of feel like eventually that this, even though they've got the chain links here like this, and maybe they're fairly sturdy, I don't know, but I can't help but think that they're going to break at some point. I know, like, in the original toys that they put out in the late 80s, early 90s, Michelangelo had two different variations on the nunchucks. One where they had like little pits in there to make it look like a chain, but not quite. And those broke super easy. And then they had ones that were just a plastic string going through. I mean, it was all molded as one piece, but it was a solid instead of a bumpy. And that one didn't break as often, but I just can't imagine that this is not going to break. But he also comes with a pizza slice that glows in the dark, which I'm not going to eat a pizza that glows in the dark. As much as I like glow in the dark stuff, that's not going in my body. We got an open turtle com, glow in the dark. We got a closed turtle com, glow in the dark. We got a bitty baby turtle. Just something that probably cost them half a cent that allowed them to charge an extra $2. We have a broken can of ooze, which in this case I think they should have painted the end caps silver, but they didn't. A ton of additional hands that probably won't be particularly useful for much of anything. And a couple fists. We have a spare head with a big open mouth. He has the closed head with the one side showing teeth, like the original turtle toys in the 80s. The shell appears to be pegged and possibly glued in place on the front and back. So we won't mess with that at all. The head that comes with him based on the old toy has a very small bandana tail at the end. The other toy that just has the big old open mouth has a larger bandana on it. Also looks a little bit happier, whereupon this one looks angry. Let's go ahead and set all that crap aside for the moment, and we will take a look at the articulation. Since this is Super 7, and they have not updated their articulation to the more modern standards that we have been seeing with double joints, we will have pretty much single joints all around. The head is on a ball joint. It can kind of move around. There's going to be, obviously, the neck peg there does have a little bit of wiggle room. Ball joint on each side, as it is. And very difficult to get back in place. So we can spin the head all around. We can look up. We can look down. We can look off to the side. We got a little up and down on the sides if we want. It looks like they did not fully get a good thick coat of paint on this figure in general. There are some thin spots in the yellow paint on the front of the shell. Back of the shell looks fine, although that might actually be a separate piece of plastic. I'm not sure. I think it is a separate piece of plastic. The arms have a hinge going up and down. We can spin it around. It does bump into the shell though when you get back there, so it pushes it out a little bit and will probably scratch one of the two parts. We do have a bicep cut. We have single joint hinge, which does not make a 90-degree at all. Looks like it's more around 75. Peg in the hand or the wrist. We have up and down hinge. And you can really see the base of the hinge in that wrist too if you look. I'm not sure if it's getting picked up well, but it really does stand out quite a bit. No waist crunch. No waist, well, there is a little bit of a waist swivel, although the front of his shell does pop up when you do it. So you get a little bit of articulation there. Not much. There's no drop down hips. You only have the ability to kick forward, but he does have a pretty good kick. Kick back. Shell interferes, of course. And we can get a good kick out. And if we position it right, he can in fact do the splits. What he can't do, however, is the lotus position for meditating. Bend at the knee. Again, we don't even get a full 90 degrees out of it. We get a bend at the ankle. It's very stiff. We can get a little bit up, a little bit down. It's loosening even as we go. We have the full spin around, though, because there is a peg in there as well. So that does it for our articulation. Let's swap his head out, shall we? I do appreciate that they did paint the tongue inside this head. I don't know if you can see it well or not, but they did do that. Looks kind of creepy on the inside here. Oh, goodness. Maybe we can't switch the heads. Oh. I don't know what it is, but their figureheads are really hard to swap out, man. And that is super tight, because I can feel it when I try to move the head around. So we have his nunchucks, which look like they're straight on sticks. I think it would have been nice if they'd actually just gone ahead and put a regular chain in there so you could move it around a bit. But they didn't. So all of your posing is basically him holding one side or both sides. Perfectly honest, Motu did it better. I'm not sure what the little holes on the side of this is for because there's no peg joints on the communicator or anything else. So there's like really nothing to stick in there. He does have like the four bits for his belt. In this case, Super 7 did it better because you can actually fit the nunchucks in there properly, unlike the Motu one where they just have that really stupid looking. However, you do have to bend the chucks quite thoroughly to fit them. I just put it in with the chain down for whatever reason. I guess I kind of feel like he'd probably grab it from the back and pull down. That will, however, bend the chucks and probably malform the chain all the way so it can keep doing that. Other than that, there's not that much more to that figure, is there? And what I don't understand is kind of like with the Raphael, he looks like he just came with a second set of gripping hands. Like, why? Shouldn't they have been designed to do something else? We can also swap out with the slightly open hand. Ow, that hurt. But what exactly is that supposed to do, you know? Hmm. Like, they could have given us a peace sign or something. Is that for holding the pizza? Not really. Communicator? There we go. Alright, we can get that one weird gripping hand to hold the open communicator. Hooray. Can of ooze? Nope. Nunchuck? Nope. Baby turtle? Nope. Not that way either. How about the closed communicator? That just went flying across the room. So that was also a no. So this hand apparently is only designed to hold the open communicator, which we swap out with the regular gripping hand again. He can still do it. He just doesn't look like he's holding it so that he can read it. That's it. Kind of feels like a waste of time and money. However, this figure does have the additional feature of glowing in the dark, so we'll show that next. And we have returned with the glow in the dark feature. Supercharge it using a blacklight flashlight. Pull it away, and there you go. Mikey is glowing in the dark. His head is different plastic than his limbs. And actually, it might not be easy to tell here, but you can actually tell the two different plastics that they're using based on the color they turn out in the black light. Looks like his nunchucks are made of the same plastic as his head and torso. So there you go. And whatever plastic is used on the head and torso does start to lose its glowing power faster than the rest. Some of that coloring looks a little bit sick in the light too, and I don't mean sick as in, dude, that's sick. It's more like, oh, that's kind of sick. So I think that will conclude our look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutagen Ooze version of Michelangelo, the glow-in-the-dark figure. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and love.